Gnostic myths and political allegory in the Apocryphon of John. Gnostic scriptures, often conveyed through myths, delve into the complexities of power, rebellion, and the human psyche. The Gnostic scriptures carry layers of symbolic meanings that connect with socio-political realities, much like the allegorical dimensions found in Isaiah chapter 14 and Ezekiel chapter 28. These myths, often misunderstood as mere fictitious tales, are detailed reflections of the social, political, and ideological landscapes of their times. Myths as a reflection of mental patterns. Myths are more than just stories. They reflect inherent patterns in human consciousness. These accounts often symbolize fixed mental structures, emphasizing contrasts like good versus evil or compassion versus cruelty, rather than unconscious feelings or desires. Myths as characters for cultural norms. Some myths, especially origin stories, serve as mythic characters that legitimize cultural norms and social institutions. They provide a foundational account that underpins the values and practices of our society. Myths and power dynamics. Mythology is closely interconnected with power structures, political systems, and economic interests. Myths can be used as tools to reinforce or challenge existing power dynamics within a society. Political myths. Political myths specifically deal with political themes and typically revolve around a group of people or person who is portrayed as a hero or villain. These accounts often offer an ideological charged account of a community's past, present, and future. The majority of Gnostic scriptures take on the form of myths, but it's critical to clarify that when using the term myth, we don't imply falsehood. Instead, these myths convey truths of a different nature than theological dogmas or philosophical statements. The role of myths in Gnostic texts. Why do Gnostic texts, for the most part, employ myths? The answer lies in the historical context of Gnostic Christians who faced severe persecution, initially by the Roman Empire and later by Orthodox Christian authorities. Unlike many early Christians who embraced martyrdom, Gnostic Christians rejected this path. The testimony of truth in the Nag Hammadi scriptures highlights this departure from martyrdom, criticizing those who choose to be martyrs. It suggests that becoming perfected through martyrdom is an incomplete path. Instead, it implies that such individuals merely bear witness to themselves without achieving spiritual advancement. Political myths and social ideologies. Like the Gnostic myths, centered on opposition to political structures, Isaiah chapter 14 and Ezekiel chapter 28 resonate with the portrayal of an arrogant ruler claiming divine status. Both accounts provide an ideologically marked account of past, present, and future, reflecting the community's political identity, much like the Gnostics' rejection of martyrdom in favour of a different ideological stance. Gnostic myth and resistance to political order. The Gnostic texts, born from persecution by the Romans and rejection by Orthodox Christian authorities, the Gnostic texts symbolize a revolt against established political systems. Likewise, Gnostic myths function as a mode of defiance, actively challenging the existing political and religious orders. Allegorical readings and political commentary. An allegorical interpretation of Gnostic myth, like the Apocryphon of John, unveils parallels with the claims of Roman emperors, just as Ezekiel chapter 28 verses 1-3 highlights the king of Tyre's excessive pride. These Gnostic texts are allegorical of the Roman emperor's assertion of divine authority. Interpreting Gnostic myths. When interpreting Gnostic myths, it is critical not to isolate them from the social, political, and economic factors that influence their creation. The authors of Gnostic texts rejected the legitimacy of existing political orders. Gnosticism emerged as a response from a political, marginalized intellectual elite in the eastern regions of the Roman Empire during the 2nd and 1st centuries AD. These Gnostics overtly challenged the political structures of their time. While they did not explicitly detail the political views or activities of these individuals, their myths featuring tyrannical creator archons serve as a veiled political protest. These myths called on those living under oppressive powers to rise against it.